Hey there, welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision for you and your family as to whether or not you want to spend time or money, or sometimes both, watching a specific film. So the movie I'm reviewing today is called 97 Minutes. Dun, dun, dun. This airline thriller is now playing in select theaters. It's an hour and 33 minutes and is rated R. My movie review mom score is a C. And let me explain why. Don't click away to another YouTube channel just yet. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, interesting lines, funny lines, and even recommendations for some other movies that are somewhat similar that I think you might also enjoy. Or if you like those, then you might like this one. All right, you ready to dive in? In a nutshell, the movie is about a hijacked plane that will crash in only 97 minutes when its fuel runs out. Against the strong will of NSA Deputy Toyin, NSA Director Hawkins prepares to have the plane shot down before it does any catastrophic damage on the ground, leaving the fate of the innocent passengers on the plane in the hands of Alex, an undercover Interpol agent who has been embedded in the terrorist cell. Now, the movie is directed by Timo, let's see if I can say this name, Bororensola, and writing credits go to Pavan Grover. All right, so there are plenty of things that I really liked about this movie. For example, I've mentioned before that I'm a fan of Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, and I feel bad for him that he just can't book the big Hollywood blockbuster movies. I loved him in the popular TV series The Tudors, but ever since then, he's been pumping out really only B quality movies. And I don't know if it's because he can't get the bigger deals, which he's certainly talented enough to do, or maybe he's not interested. He's been pumping them out fast and furiously. And I know some of these bigger films take a lot more time. So I don't know. One of these days I'll have to ask him. If you know him, hook me up and I'd love to do an interview with him. So I've always also gotten a kick out of Alec Baldwin. He's had his good moments and his bad moments, but I'm still a fan. And in this movie, I'm thinking it sure was an easy paycheck for him. Basically, he stands in one room and just has kind of side commentary from, the expert point of view. He's not in the thick of the action or anything like that. And he is getting older, but not so old that he can't physically move around. That just was the part that he played, and he probably did it in one day. I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying. Other cast members include Mayanna Buring, Joe Martin, Michael Ciro, Pavan Grover, Angel Nigam, Slavko Sobin, Danny Bonin, and many more. The director used some really cool camera shots. They offered some interesting perspective. And honestly, it had to have been really tricky to film in such tight quarters as an airplane cabin. Now, I completely know that it's a set, but even still, those are tight corners to make the airplane look realistic, right? So I think he did a good job. There's an interesting conversation between two characters about Shakespeare's play Hamlet that helps us to understand a character's motivation. So listen out for that conversation because it offered some interesting insights. No spoilers. This kind of movie always makes me wonder what I would do in this situation specifically. Have you ever wondered that? Now, there's a fun twist at the end, and I kind of figured that there would be one because the story was pretty straightforward, and I thought there's got to be more to it than this. And there was, but it was a different angle than what I was expecting it to be. And so I thought that that was good. I love being surprised. Like every movie made nowadays, the heroes are mostly women. Now, not a spoiler, there are some women in the movie. I'm just saying. And I liked the song at the very end of the movie by Livingston. I thought that that was really sweet. Now, let me give you the list of things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better. For example, one of the problems is that we really only get to know one of the characters. So it's a hard sell to want us to really care about all of the people on the plane. First of all, there are too many people on the plane for us to even have time to get to know them. But if we were going to get to know just a few, I would have liked to have known a few more and understood a little bit more about them. Some of the dialogue is really, really dumb. And I'm just kind of rolling my eyes like, really, you could have done better than that. And if you're the writer and you're watching this review, invite me in on the fun next time. I would love to give my 2 cents before you start filming. I'm an author of 31 books. Just say it. It would be an honor. One of the details that just drove me crazy was who shoots a gun on an airplane? That's insane because it could cause the plane immediately to crash. Or maybe I've seen too many movies where a gun goes off in the plane and, all crazy stuff breaks loose because it breaks the plane loose, kind of a thing with the cabin pressure and all of that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know the science behind it, but I've always been told you never shoot a gun on an airplane. So that seemed unrealistic. Now, in the movie, they also show this different type of gun where it's not real bullets, it's something else. And so maybe I missed that at the very beginning when guns start going off, that maybe it's one of those fake guns. Now that I think about it, it might be. But even still, I wonder what effect that kind of gun would have had in the cabin pressure and, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Comment down below if you know any differently. So the ending change of heart in one of the characters I thought was so unrealistic and ridiculous based on everything else we knew about this character. And I thought, well, okay, maybe, but still I was like, it seemed a little bit like lazy writing, in my opinion. There are some filters on several shots that make the film look a little hokey, especially towards the end, sunset shots, that make it look like all is well kind of a thing. And it didn't match the realistic filmmaking and color palette of the rest of the movie. So due to the title, I also thought that there would be more shots of clocks and timers and other countdown moments and people constantly referring to how much time is left and that kind of thing. It's mentioned a couple of times, but it's not as big of a deal. And it would have been fun to see some other play on words. And, there's just a lot more they could have done with the time element of it. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. There is some profanity and F-bombs. So the movie is not really appropriate for children, especially because there's also a lot of blood and blood splatters and violence, and people get shot and die other brutal, bloody, gory deaths. There's a lot of violence with a variety of weapons, as well as hand-to-hand combat. Now, let me share some of the themes that I thought were illustrated well and lessons learned. For example, one of the characters is talking about the journey to find the true way, meaning the way of happiness in life, the way of meaning in life, as several characters are talking about that. Other themes are vengeance, hope, truth, justice, family, survival, trust, and proving your worth. And that's shown in a variety of ways as well. All right, so I always like to write down funny lines and interesting lines while I'm watching movies, just so I can share them with you. So you can get a little taste of the dialogue and the script writing. And I have them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, as well as some other stuff. So I'm looking at my notes and I didn't see any funny lines. It's really not a comedy. This is pure drama and survival drama. And so here are some interesting lines that I thought had good insight. So one of the characters, his name is Hawkins, played by Alec Baldwin. And he says, some innocent people are going to die so that more innocent people can live. And you can kind of see the reaction on people's faces like, wait a minute, is that right? And I thought maybe that's a funny line, but it was meant as a serious line. And then Jonathan Rhys-Meyers' character says, vengeance is both rational and morally justifiable in the face of injustice. And that is his philosophy. That's really his personal motivation on why he's doing the things that he's doing, which is interesting. And again, part of another insightful conversation that he has with another character. And then another character whose name is Hitar's, an Indian man played by Anjul Nigam. And he says, the path you are on will not lead you to the peace you are seeking. And I thought that was a really good line. And it makes you wonder, did that have any impact on his decisions and, what he decided to do? All right, I'm going to give you one more. You ready? This one is spoken by Kim, a female passenger played by Mayanna Buring. And she says, so we all die for justice? Who dies for ours? As she's talking to one of these terrorists who wants justice. Anyway, and I thought that was a really good line and well said. Okay, now let me give you some recommendations for 3 movies that I think that you'll really get a kick out of. So the first one is Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson. And it is so over the top ridiculous that it's fun. And then another one is called Flight Plan. And that's an older one, not too old, but several years old with Jodie Foster. And that's serious drama. And I'm just such a fan of hers. And then the last one is called Plane. And that's a real brand new one that just came out a couple of months ago, or maybe it was a month. Anyway, this year. And it's also kind of goofy and with ridiculous scenarios, but just still doggone good fun, plain entertainment. Da-dum-bum. Did you hear that? Play on words there. All right. I hope that you enjoyed this movie if you watch it, and those other 3 as well. And by the way, they're all on Amazon, and some of them are Amazon Prime. Now, if you're not an Amazon Prime member, click down in the description below, and I've got a coupon for a free 30-day trial, so you can check that out. Thank you so much for always supporting me. I really appreciate that. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill, all of those things. Spread magical YouTube fairy dust all over my channel so more people can find it. Thank you. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.